Today, we've got two tour issue clubs recently traded in that we're going to have Emma test out. We've got a Callaway Rogue Max LS T head, and we've got a Ping I-230 gap wedge that I think was built for Bryson. So we're going to have Emma hit both of them. Hey golfers, I'm Drew Mahowald, Second Swing Golf, joined in here in the tour van by Emma Carpenter for this is going to be a fun one. We've got a couple of clubs traded in here that were very clearly designed for a tour spec. And so I say that because I've got, well, this first one, this driver, Callaway Rogue ST Max LS is the model. This is a 2022 driver head, but it's 9T on the loft. And so the T indicates it's for tour. And what it means basically is this was not available to retail. So not just anybody could walk in. This was never in our stores. This was something that Callaway built specifically for someone out on tour. The 9T indicates also that it's 0.75 degrees more loft than 9, so 9.75, and some more face progression there. So somebody really dialed in and listening to this might have a better idea of what that means than I do. And then also what we have here, which is also fun. Now, we cannot confirm or deny if this is for sure built for Bryson DeChambeau, but the specs seem to indicate that it is. It is a Ping I-230 gap wedge. It has an LA Golf shaft in it, and it is, I believe, we actually measured, it is longer than your 7-iron.
Longer than my 7-iron,
Yeah,
yep.
So I guess, first of all, what do you think, I mean, you've got the gap wedge, kind of just as you're holding it and looking at it, what is it, you know, the type of golfer that's playing that club? I mean, if it's Bryson or if it's somebody else, but that's definitely a unique setup, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and especially the way that it's set very upright.
Yes.
So, you know, which we all know how Bryson likes to swing in a lot of his philosophies
Yes.
around equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be really interested to see if I can hit this.
Yeah, that's going to be...
Same with the driver. So
that's going to be fascinating.
what else is like specific about this driver that makes it different?
I think it's primarily the fact that Callaway, you see tour players with this T designation all the time, whether it's sometimes it's up here on the club head, sometimes it's down by the loft, but this basically means that this is a head shape construction that nobody could really get at retail or get even through our custom fitting options.
Right.
This is something that somebody on tour went to Callaway, worked with their R&D and specifically wanted for them. So perhaps within the head, there's some unique weighting that is not available at retail. Also, the T, yeah, as I mentioned, there's the loft differences with it. Unfortunately, we didn't get the name of the player with this one, so we can make some assumptions and maybe try to investigate that. But we don't have the name of the player that this was built for, but we technically don't with this one, but there's just not another player in the world that would have a setup like that. So, Emma, which of these do you want to hit first?
I want to hit the gap wedge.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's go. Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
So, this unique gap wedge that we have here, I want you to first just get ready to hit and tell me what it looks like, what it feels like to you to have that.
Yeah. So the fact that this is longer than my 7-iron.
Yeah.
I had Bryson on my podcast and we talked about the length of golf clubs, and he said that you want to be able to swing every club with the same golf swing, but your golf swing is going to be different if the length of the club changes. And I said, wow, that really makes a lot of sense. If you want your golf swing to be the same, if it's all about repeatability, how can you repeat the same swing if all the clubs are different lengths? So I was like, shoot, maybe I should change.
Right.
And he was like, it's probably too late now. You've been playing golf for too long.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's been sort of an ambassador for that single length concept for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, when he was with Cobra, of course, the one length iron, option that they had with all their models. And so, yeah, that is the philosophy. And a lot of people swear by it. He's not the only one, but it's like, if I can hit my 4-iron and my gap wedge with the same swing, then I can just work on the same things all the time. So
but I mean,
it makes sense to a degree, but I can see the way you're setting up now. You're trying to get that toe to be on the ground, and you really can't.
I can either do this, I can set up how I normally would, where the toe is just way off the ground, but I mean, to get the club to lie flat, I need to
Yeah.
Alrighty. And this is a gap wedge.
Yes.
Oh, boy. I was kind of worried about missing it. I'm not even kidding.
Missing the ball entirely.
Missing the ball entirely.
So, out of curiosity now, do you have a distance for your gap wedge?
Yeah, my gap wedge goes about, my gap wedge goes about 108, 110.
Okay.
Right.
And actually, I don't even know what the loft of this in particular is. But It doesn't say on there, I don't think, because there's a couple things at play here that'll be different from yours. One being the length of the shaft, and then how heavy and stiff the shaft is. Those are all a big factor with this, and obviously the lie angle being crazy upright too.
All right, trying to get a hole-in-one over my house.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good shot.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shot. It's right on line, 111 carry. Now, it'd be a pretty radical decision to replace your
I think I better switch. Yeah.
Yeah, But
see if I can do that
so
again.
I wonder how many swings it would take you to get over the fact that you're hitting like a 50-some degree wedge with 7-iron length.
I hit that really good.
Really? Okay. Yeah, another good shot.
That's pretty good.
So I was worried about you going left because of that upright lie angle, but those last 2 swings have been really, really good.
You got to adjust. You got to adjust.
Maybe you should be playing single length irons to your wedge with upright lie angle.
Yeah, maybe this is the reason
I can see you're setting up differently. I
maybe
can tell that you are.
I'm like trying to be Bryson.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like you're doing a Bryson impersonation.
Well, it's easy when you have the club. It's easier when you have the club. Maybe this is what's been keeping me off tour.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, why not? Why not me?
I mean, I don't have anything else to add. You're just hitting the same numbers every time now. So you had that one kind of not so good shot at the beginning.
The very first one was
which
rough.
I'm going to take out because of how
oh, now we're
consistent-
going to look at like my actual data.
Yeah, we are. Hit another one, and then we're going to look at it.
That was so good.
That was even farther.
I'm just getting more comfortable with it.
Yeah. So here, again, I'm going to try to put into context how zoomed in we are, because it always, so every one of these shots is within 3 yards of the center line. Because those dotted lines there are 5 yards. Everything's within that and comfortably within that. This last one just went a tiny bit further. That's nitpicking to a pretty large degree. So that's
I'm not even just saying this. I bet if I hit you 4 shots on my gap wedge right now, I don't know if the dispersion would be better.
I don't think it would, and I don't even want to go down that route, because then it's gonna be a weird fitting discussion of like, well,
What? The fact, I don't think it would. I don't think it would.
that was good.
Okay, I want to do one more just because it's fun.
Yeah, we get 5. Let's do it.
Oh, that's gonna go a little left, but I hit it really solid. Yeah.
Interesting. Look how much further that one went. So there's the lower spin on that one, but look at it took off way up here to the left.
A wedge shouldn't hypothetically have to go that much further if I missed it left, would it?
Yes and no. There's sort of a trend. If you miss left, the fear with an iron, and for sure an iron, maybe a wedge at this length and loft, that the further left you miss, the further it's also going to go. Just
right,
you're
of course.
de-lofting it essentially when you miss left.
Yeah.
So it's actually the loft at impact is lower than other shots. Yeah, you are gaining more speed with each shot. So this is a little more than of kind of what I expected, but it's still like, it's not like it's some crazy misses or anything like that.
No, it's like actually hit pretty solid. It's what's keeping me off tour, Drew.
Yeah, you
It
got to
just
go
should've
single
been-
length LA golf shafts, super upright build. Hey, maybe we could get Bryson to watch this video and give his thoughts on the situation.
Maybe.
All right, so I'll give you this one. That was fun to watch, and it's very unique and kind of cool to see how you adjusted to the club, because you clearly did. And then the dispersion and everything up there, you started to hit it further and further. 117 carry, 119 total. I wasn't going to do this whole in-depth data analysis, and then you were hitting them really good. So
I was like, are we going to look at the data? You're like, yeah we are. We're
yeah,
going
now
to
we
do
are.
it.
So that's what we got.
At first it was like, what's gonna happen? And then it was just like, okay, let's see how this would really translate on the golf course.
All right, so then this driver now, it's the T, a 9T of the Rogue ST Max LS. Just so many words in that model name. But then it's the T head. So the T head, as we talked about, slightly more loft than stated and more face progression. So a little bit more of a difference between kind of where the shaft enters, sort of the hosel, and then the face is a little more forward looking at address, if that makes sense. You put it down, the face might bulge out a little bit more from the hosel ever so slightly than the standard head would.
It almost looks like it's shut.
So,
Is that right?
And that's probably an optical illusion, perhaps, as a result of it. It definitely could be that. That Smoke IO shaft is also a unique one.
So what's it gonna do?
Great question.
Guess we'll find out.
Right now, we've got it set in the standard settings of everything from the OptiFit hosel from Callaway. So. Also worth noting, I believe that shaft is a 46-inch shaft. So it is longer, or actually at the limit for driver shaft length.
Oh, perfect.
So I wouldn't expect, that would generally mean it's going to go like this a little bit more than.
I'm just a girl, Drew.
But
oh, I keep on falling over. I actually hit that pretty good, though.
it looks pretty good. Yeah, that's really good.
Whoa.
243 carry, 265. It's a good swing. Really good numbers.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
7 feet left. Swung it. I mean, like I would.
270.
I would love that on the golf
That's a
course.
good swing.
At the end of the day, Drew, you just gotta try your best to be an athlete over the golf ball. I fail at this a lot. Sometimes I'm like, just be an athlete. Just hit the center of the club face.
Well, it's a 46-inch driver, which in theory should make it tougher, but you've hit 2 really good ones right at the center of the club face.
That was my best one. Maybe not, but
I don't know. That's pretty darn good,
it
too.
just it felt really good off the club face.
I mean, I think your farthest carry.
Oh,
Hit
really?
Yeah. Hit one more, and we might have to. This might be Emma's new driver. I will say,
Maybe
we just
Drew,
did a video where you were hitting your GT, and the carry was further with the GT too.
Yeah,
It was
I
much
mean,
further. So.
these tour pros are onto something, though.
But it was 3 really
equipment.
consistent tee shots. I don't know.
It's just the equipment. Their equipment is so good.
Yeah, realistically, I could be on tour if I had their equipment.
Yeah, for sure. I could for sure be on tour if I had their equipment. That was a little heely. That wasn't great.
It's actually not a bad result.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's not show all here because we're not worried about that wedge. Okay, I forgot about this one that you hung out over here.
That was a very well. That's because the face looked shut, so I felt like I had to leave it open to square it. But ever since then, I'm like, screw it. It feels shut, but I'm just gonna swing it.
So okay, so
it's just the looking at it.
So a couple of things we've kind of concluded with this driver. We think it might be heavier. We might be some added weight either inside the club head. We also realize that there's a little more loft than actually stated on there, which could be why the club is actually going a little shorter than say your gamer. It's actually about a 4 to 6 yard difference in carry from your gamer, if I remember correctly, with the other video on the channel, Emma doing her gapping session with the driver. So, but you hit it good, really good.
Yeah.
Basically 4 out of 5 times here. Oops, wrong screen. 4 out of 5 times you're right in the middle of the fairway. And this is not a wide fairway that I've got projected up here.
Yeah, you never give me a wide fairway on Trackman, but
yeah, but
that's okay. You're a master club fitter, so.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I'm curious. Do you think is there a player type you think that could have been, or are you not really?
I have no idea. I mean, if the driver's really long, it's probably for someone who is tall.
Yeah.
It was probably, if it feels heavy, I mean, all those guys are pretty strong on
Yeah.
tour. They're all going to be playing a driver that's way heavier than mine. But, and so besides, what's the point of having the face, go past the
So there is an element of, these like at the tour level, you'll see it with like the triple diamond heads too, where they get deeper and they get more kind of condensed. And the reason for that is it allows golfers to work the ball more. The center of gravity is a little more forward.
Yes.
Because with the center of gravity more forward, you can hit stronger curve or add more curve to your fades in your draws. It's less forgiving.
Interesting.
Than when the center of gravity is back, then it stabilizes the head when you miss towards the toe or towards the heel. But these guys at the tour level don't really do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that a lot of guys on tour don't necessarily want to curve a driver all that much, though, would they?
No, but like a lot of guys have a stock shot that they need to hit.
That's right.
They, if it's a lot like John Rahm, he's a Callaway guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, not that this was his driver. I have no idea, but like he needs to hit this big high fade.
Right.
And so to do that, he's got to have his driver built a certain way, and he's got a low spin head to do it, at least low spin club head. So that's part of it. But yeah, it's odd to get. We never get something like this in the Callaway Rogue. This is a Max LS T head that we've never really seen, and so we just wanted to test it out before we end up. It's on the website now. So as of the time this video goes up,
it might be off the website before it's posted.
That's true.
If I
it actually
buy it.
Might be, yeah, because maybe you're going to put it in the bag. So I don't know, but interesting, and also just shows we have a ton of our selection of second swing is second to none. We get kind of crazy, unique stuff like this in all the time. And if you guys like it, we'll maybe do a recurring thing where we test out these unique kind of tour issue clubs. But
I loved it. This is so much fun. This is really cool.
Very unique. A couple of really fun ones. If you have any comments on them, maybe Bryson, give us your feedback on the first club. But Emma, thank you for joining for this one. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for letting me try them. It was really, really cool to see.